no better place to entertain the leader of the free world, in my opinion, than one of these classic, funky, family-run noodle shops you find all over Hanoi. Dinner and a beer cost about $6. I'm guessing the president doesn't get a lot of state dinners like this. How often do you get to sneak out for a beer?
Very rarely. First of all, I don't get to sneak out, period. But once in a while, I'll take Michelle out on a date night. The problem is, part of enjoying a restaurant is sitting with other patrons and enjoying the atmosphere. And too often, we end up getting shunted into one of those private rooms in the back.
Well, I'm glad I could help, and to many more you.
Absolutely. You're gonna have to.
I will walk you through.
You're gonna have to walk me through this.
We're about to eat Bun Cha. And it is about as typical and uniquely a Hanoi dish as there is. These beautiful little pork patties, grilled pork belly. Bun Cha is served in a broth of vinegar, sugar, and the ubiquitous guac mam, or Vietnamese fermented fish sauce. The chilies to taste. I mean, if you have an important state function after, you might not want to go do that.
I'm going with this thing. We're going to do what's appropriate.
Vinegar.
All right.
And then you just hack off noodles. You just drop them in your bowl.
Yeah, it's not too elegant, but I'm manageable.
And dip and stir and get ready for the awesomeness.
I'm ready. Now, is it appropriate to just pop one of these whole suckers in your mouth, or do you think that you should be a little more...
Well, slurping is totally acceptable in this part of the world. It takes some skills, by the way, to handle these sticky cold noodles. But whatever your opinion of the man, the president has those skills. I gotta say.
This is killer. This is outstanding.
So good to hear.
It's really good.
And we share, apparently, the sentimentality about Asian street food and Southeast Asia in general.
One of my favorite meals of all time. There's an area between Jakarta and Bandung, another city in Indonesia, called Puncak, and it's up through the mountains. So you'd have these roadside restaurants overlooking the tea fields. There'd be a river running through the restaurant itself, and there'd be these fish, these carp that would be running through. You'd pick the fish, they'd grab it for you and fry it up, and the skin would be real crispy, and they just serve it with a bed of rice. And it was the simplest meal possible, and nothing tasted so good.
Now, as a Chicagoan, trickier question fraught with peril. Is ketchup on a hot dog ever acceptable?
No. No, I mean that. That's one of those things like, well, let me put it this way. It's not acceptable past the age of 8.
My daughter's 8, and she put ketchup on eggs the other day, and I didn't know what good parenting called for at this point.
An intervention.
I think
you just got to say, you know what, that's not acceptable. I'm sorry.